Welcome back to Movie Moshow. Today we are going to review the drama film, The Machinist. If you like our content, don't forget to like and subscribe. We upload multiple times daily. Spoilers ahead. As the opening credits roll, we hear Trevor Resnick, Christian Bale, fumbling with a big, heavy object. He appears to be transporting a body wrapped in carpet in his truck as he drives it close to a dam. When a person carrying a flashlight starts to approach, he becomes terrified. The carpet begins to unroll after he pushes it down. He is suddenly overtaken by the man with the torch, who asks, "Who are you?" In his bathroom sink, Trevor uses bleach to clean his hands. He raises his head to examine his own wan face in the mirror and notices a post-it note with the words "Who are you?" pasted to the glass. Trevor is dating a call girl named Stevie, Jennifer Jason Leigh. At her home, they have concluded their passionate act, and Trevor gets dressed. He is ridiculed for his incredibly low weight by her. He makes her feel uneasy, as well as the rest of the audience, by sucking in his stomach and arching his back to reveal his exposed bones. He drops a tip in her jar before departing through the door. Trevor reports for duty at an unidentified industrial job as a machinist. Because Trevor enjoys quoting and informing his co-workers of OSHA requirements that Tucker would rather ignore, they have a tense working relationship. Trevor and his co-workers gossip after work as they change out of their coveralls in the locker area. When Trevor declines Jones's, Kathy, invitation to play cards with the lads, Jones observes that Trevor doesn't socialize the way he used to, providing yet more indication that something is wrong in Trevor's world. Currently, Trevor is engaging in flirtatious conversation with divorced waitress Marie, Aitana Sanchez Hijon, at an airport cafe. He glances at the time, which is 1:30 a.m. She questions jokingly if Trevor is fleeing something as she wants to know why he arrives at the airport so late at night. Trevor's skeletal build raises Stevie's fears, and Marie agrees, saying if you were any thinner, you wouldn't exist. After some searching, he returns to Stevie. He admits to her that he hasn't slept for a year during their conversation at the Pillow. After work one afternoon, Trevor goes outside to smoke. He overhears someone predicting a storm while driving his truck. A short, balding man is leaning into his window as he stares over. "Ivan, John Sherian," he says, "is my name." He claims to be a new employee filling in for Reynolds, a friend of Trevor's. When the shift resumes, Trevor and Miller, Michael Ironside, a co-worker, are repairing a machine. Trevor turns to face Ivan, who makes a motion similar to slitting his throat. When Trevor steps back, a machine button is pressed by his shoulder. Miller's arm is entangled and moving slowly toward it. They attempt to stop the machine and release him, but they are unable to do so in time. Miller's arm has been severed from his body, yet it is still visible spinning in the machine without Miller inside. When an ambulance is needed, they dial it, and Trevor enters his boss's office. They inquire about what occurred. Ivan must have distracted him, he claims. His boss appears perplexed. No one employed by them is named Ivan. Ivan pulls away in his red sports car, and Trevor decides to pursue. He says they need to chat as he pulls up next to him in the street. When they enter a pub, Trevor tells Ivan that nobody at the factory has ever heard of him. Ivan insists that Trevor's supervisor and co-workers might be making a prank on him and that he actually works there. Trevor is also shown by Ivan how his own hand was injured by a machine. Doctors replaced his thumb with a large toe and his pinky finger with his baby toe after he lost his fingers, resulting in a hideous disfigurement. Ivan excuses himself to use the restroom and Trevor finds his wallet when he returns. He sees a photo of Reynolds and Ivan enjoying some fishing. As evidence that Reynolds knows Ivan, he saves it. His co-workers are upset with him at work because they perceive him as a jinx. They claim they no longer have faith in him. Trevor is puzzled when post-its start to appear on his fridge over the course of the next few days. They resemble a hangman puzzle. The first one has 6-letter filled blanks. What is happening is a mystery to Trevor. The spaces were filled in later that day and read ER. Trevor goes to an amusement park with Marie and her kid Nicholas, Matthew Romero Moore, on Mother's Day. When Marie's phone rings, she takes a break to answer it, saying, "Probably my ex." Trevor is persuaded to go on the spooky Route 66 ride by Nicholas. At the end of the trip, rapidly flashing lights induce Nicholas to have a seizure. The scares get crazier and more gruesome. Trevor regrets subjecting Nicholas to the adult trip, but Marie seems understanding and assures Trevor that when Nicholas awakens, it will be as if nothing ever happened. They return to her home and drink wine. When he enters the kitchen, he notices that it is 1:30 and that Marie received a Mother's Day card from Nicholas, which is magnetized to the refrigerator. He observes that the ER in his previous posted hangman puzzle is written in his handwriting. He fills in mother with a guess when he gets back home. He notices a picture in his mother's old photo album that uncannily recalls the previous shot he took of Nicholas and Marie. Miller returns to his job and stops by to pick up his settlement check. He appears unfazed by the mishap. He expresses to Trevor his satisfaction with the monetary reward the corporation has given him. But Trevor nearly loses his arm when he has a collision of his own. He begins to develop paranoia and wonder if his co-workers are out to get him. He comes up with another theory while gazing at the hangman game in his apartment. Miller. To get answers, he goes to Miller's house. Miller is charged with trying to get retribution by Trevor. Miller doesn't know why Trevor is so unhappy, but after a while of Trevor yelling at him, Miller gives Trevor a gut punch and orders him to go. When Trevor notices Ivan leaving the area later, he drives after him, but Ivan manages to get away. Trevor is beginning to think that he is the target of a plot. For more sex, Trevor returns to Stevie's. After that, it becomes clear that they are attracted to one another. After some discussion, she expresses her want to stop hooking up and begin a relationship with him, which is also Trevor's desire. To see Marie, he returns to the airport restaurant. The environment has significantly changed. It is now crowded, chaotic, and poorly lighted. Trevor is informed by the shabby waitress behind the counter that no one by the name of Marie works there. Trevor becomes agitated and yells at the diners as well as the waitress. They are all accused by him of participating in the plot. He sees Ivan leaving again while parked in the airport garage. He follows him slowly. He remembers Ivan's license plate numbers, but during a close call, he loses sight of the vehicle. Then, in an effort to find Ivan's contact information, he visits the Department of Motor Vehicles. If he doesn't have a criminal complaint to file, the DMV won't assist him. In order to go to the police and claim to be the victim of a hit and run while providing Ivan's license plate, Trevor leaps in front of an approaching vehicle. A detective tells Trevor that the license plate belonged to a vehicle he owned and had reported entirely wrecked a year prior. He is charged with making fun of the police. Trevor becomes disoriented and flees. Police pursue him down some subway tunnels, but he manages to flee. Back at Stevie's, Trevor slips. She is horrified by the severity of his wounds and begs him to visit a doctor, but he declines. Trevor is all set to move in with Stevie and find a normal job until he notices the photo of Ivan and Reynolds and claims that Stevie is conspiring against him with Ivan. Reynolds and Trevor are both in the picture, according to Stevie. She is also unaware of who Ivan is. She claims that following his most recent visit, Trevor removed the photo. Stevie responds that Trevor is a maniac and that's why he must avoid physicians when Trevor grows upset and calls her a whore. She strikes him and sends him outside. When he arrives back at his apartment complex, Ivan and Nicholas have already entered. He pursues Ivan and fights him. He succeeds in slitting his throat but fails to locate Nicholas. Trevor is now back where he was at the start of the movie. Trevor attempts to dispose of Ivan's body by rolling it up in a carpet, but when the carpet unravels, he finds that it is empty. Ivan is the man coming at you with the flashlight. "Who are you?" he asks. He uses bleach to clean his hands at Trevor's house. The post-it asking, "Who are you?" is visible to him. He can see Ivan standing behind him in the mirror. Trevor begins to sob. He keeps stating, "I know who you are." We see a healthy Trevor operating the same red sports car that he saw Ivan operating in a flashback from more than a year ago. This afternoon at 1:30. He tries to light his cigarette as he approaches a crossing, but becomes sidetracked and drops the lighter on the ground. He ends up running into Nicholas and murdering him as he crosses the roadway. Marie rushes over to her kid. Trevor runs from the area. Trevor finishes the hangman game and determines who he is back in the present. It is marked killer. His guilt contributed to his insanity and delirium, which gave rise to Ivan. If Marie and Nicholas had genuine names, he had never met them. He goes to a police station in the city and reports a hit and run there before turning himself in. Thank you for watching and don't forget to like and subscribe.